Hey everyone, welcome back to another gameplay commentary. In this game, we'll be playing Baron support, and this will of course be a ranked match as it always is. And Baron just came out, so let's go ahead and get right into this game and just kind of talk about his kit, talk about what's new and what's the same and all that kind of jazz. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so let's get right into this. One of the things, actually, what's really cool is that Sunder got a significant nerf. So if you guys didn't know before, Sunder, you were pretty much going all the time on support. In fact, not even just support, but like jungle as well, and same thing with like solo and sometimes other roles too. But in support, you're pretty much going Sunder every single game. And the reason why is because Sunder just used for invading camps really, really easily. On top of that, they're used at securing objectives late game because beyond level 10, Sunder was dealing about 1,000 true damage to objectives. So you were pretty much securing it over the enemy team. And so Sunder got a significant nerf. Now it's 500 damage, which is not even close to 1,000, right? It's half that. And its early game steal is also like way weakened. So pretty much now you can actually go way more relics in support. And what's cool about that is like you can do things like go Phantom Shell, you can go Combat Blink, whatever the case. So support's actually gotten a bit more fun since that, because now for your only one relic slot that you get in Smite 2, you don't have to go Sunder every single game to make a massive impact. In fact, I think Sunder is probably like one of the, I don't want to say worst relics, but Sunder, in my opinion, right now is just mostly an early game relic. If you want to try to get that early game lead by securing the early camp still and snowballing from that, you most certainly can do that. But late game, if someone has, like, say, like a Phantom Shell over you, they're going to be doing more with the relic than you are. So first things first, just want to get that out of the way. That's why I go Phantom Shell this game, because, I don't need Sunder anymore. And yeah, honestly, I was just getting really, really bored of Sunder. But to start off with Baron, I like going as 1. Now, you can go as 2 or as 1. It's completely fine. His 1 is going to do a little bit more damage, I think, overall. But his 2 is still really good to go, especially if you want to get your 3 second. So, like, your 2-3 combo for the first 2 levels is still really, really good. I'm actually still experimenting with it. So back in Smite 1, I was going my 1 all the time first, but in this game, I think you can kind of just do whatever. The 2 is going to heal you and your allies, just like it did in Smite 1. In fact, most of his kit is going to be the same as it was in Smite 1, with a lot of the same values. But we're going to have a little bit of a difference in his kit when it comes to the 3. So the 3 not only slows and roots like it used to, but it also mezzes, an AoE mez after the root. And that's going to happen if they're above a certain amount of hysteria. I believe it's like 30 hysteria. So you're actually going to get an AoE mez off in addition to them being slowed to a root, which is crazy. In fact, I think Baron has the longest CC chain out of any single 1 ability in the game currently. That being his 3. Like, the slow on his 3, I think, starts off at like 1.25. And it goes, and the root's like another 0.75 or something like that. Some crazy numbers like that. So it's wild. And then the mez like another 2.25. Unfortunately, we ended up getting fragged by Loki there, but that's completely fine. They were able to clean up the Jing Wei, so I'll take that trade any day of the week. I knew Loki was behind me there, so I just kind of wanted to... I wanted to see if I could like space out. Maybe I run to my teammates there, but for the most part, I kind of just wanted to space out. One thing I did want to go over though too is the new portal. So as you guys saw, I took that portal earlier down the lane, and just now it was on a 50-second timer. So they've added portals to each lane that you can go down, and as you guys just saw, there is a timer for it. So if you go ahead and take the portal, I believe it's like around a 200-second or so cooldown. Now, obviously, that might change depending on the update and if they decide to keep the portals in the game or not. But it's pretty much like 1 free back to lane, right? Think of it kind of like a TP in a sense, like how in Smite 1, how you had TP for soul lane, right? So I would kind of think of it like that. But you can take a portal to any lane, and it's gonna put you to your tower. So like your furthest tower that's up. So in this case, you know how all of our T1s are up? It's gonna go to our T1s, right? Now, if we didn't have a T1 up in, say, dual lane, for example, say our T1 and dual lane got taken and we only had a T2 tower, then the portal will bring us to the T2 instead of the T1. So that's kind of what I meant. So it is going to bring you to the tower that's up that can be attacked, and again, about a 240-second cooldown, I believe. But yeah, so the portals are actually really interesting. I didn't think that they were too like good of an addition at first. I was like, I don't know about this, right? Because portals are a little like... They either work or they don't, in the sense that like you can kind of snowball a little bit too much with them. I know not everybody's the biggest fan of portals, but I think these are actually fine. I think these are fine because it's not like you're getting like massive flanks off. You are getting like 1 freebie, Okay. There, I tried to block the Neathalt, and for for some strange reason, I thought Neathalt was like coming through, like dual lane ish a little bit. So I was like positioning myself to block it like it was gonna come down dual lane. But like that was just so goofy by me. I could have easily saved his life had I blocked the Neathalt. I just need to like walk up to him and like just straight up body block it. So that was my bad. That was my bad. But Soul doesn't know we're doing this, so that's completely fine. In any case, though. But yeah, so the portals are going to be like, you're either going to like them, you're not going to like them. But I overall think they're fine. And I just kind of want to see where they go with the game a little bit where it comes to them. Like maybe they have to nerf them in the future or like get rid of them completely. Who knows? But I think for right now, they had a pretty good addition to the game. Again, it's pretty much a free back for every single lane. Also, too, for example, if let's say I'm in mid or whatever, or I'm backing, and then I see my Bologna gets gone on in soul lane, I can, right from my base, I can literally port over to soul lane if I still have it up, right? So that's a big thing too. It allows you to help out your team a little bit more around the map. But again, you have to pretty much like make sure you have the cooldown. So it looks like the cooldown is about 210 seconds or so for the portal, 205, 210. But yeah, so that's it for the portals. They also did fix War Flag, which is nice. So like War Flag before had like a bug where it wasn't really giving you the prots, and now it actually is giving you the prots. So you can go War Flag, you can go not heroism, what's it called? Selflessness or whatever it's called now. I call it heroism because it's Smite 1, but you can go selflessness if you want. Both are completely fine. I still think selflessness is better and probably would have been a better choice this game, considering we're into a Bacchus. So selflessness is going to proc off my allies when they get hard CC'd, and Bacchus is riddled with hard CC, right? So it's going to be really nice. But let's see what happens in this fight here. I tried to ult, probably could have stayed in that ult a little bit longer, but looks like they're really going on me for some reason. Susano gets some damage in. Loki goes on him. Do we save him here? No, we don't, unfortunately. He ends up dying. We almost did save him. We had a really good root and then a really good Phantom show, but unfortunately Loki just held ult. Really good play by him to hold ult for as long as he did, and he was able to kind of like brute force his way through my root. But we are going to go ahead and try to peel this box off the soul, which we did, and we're just going to be chilling right now. We don't really have too much mana to fight, and so we're just going to go in and back. We don't have portals, so we're going to have to walk back. But the other thing about Baron too is that his heal, which is really cool, gives you a lot of healing. So it still has a flat heal. It still heals you for your missing health. But there's also a third healing that it does, and that's healing based off of cooldown rate. So the more cooldown rate you build, the more heals you're actually going to get off. And he's obviously a really good character still in mid lane as well. We're just playing him support this game. I think he is I don't want to say he's a better support. But I do think he's viable in really almost any of these roles right now, even solo, to be honest. But in mid, you can kind of go like more damagey, and you can see a lot of healing. I got healed by a Baron mid earlier today for like 750 off one single heal. Like, think about that. 750? Those are like hell numbers way back in the day before she got like Omega nerfed, right? Before they like hard nerfed a lot of the healing and all that kind of stuff. Like 750 is an absurd amount. So Baron can actually give quite a bit of healing in fights. And also to his ults now also scales off his protections. So it gives you like a bit of another way to play support. Like you can still do even more damage while playing Baron support. His ult's going to, you build more protections, you can actually do more damage with his ult. The other thing too that they changed with him is his passive. So his passive, he no longer deals increased damage to enemies anymore. Instead, enemies deal reduced damage to Baron while they're at max hysteria. Essentially, instead of you dealing increased damage to enemies, enemies are dealing less damage to you, right? They kind of inversed it. And that's a big thing too for support. Well, it's a big thing for everything, but especially like support and all that kind of stuff too. It allows you to be even more tankier, especially if you're building like prots and all that kind of stuff. Like you're already taking reduced damage, then you're getting reduction on top of that reduction, you know what I mean? So it's going to be like quite a bit. You're going to be pretty tanky as long as you have them at max hysteria. And you're no longer going to be doing as much damage as you were, but you're still going to be doing really good damage. In fact, the one thing I noticed about... Wait, let's see if I can... No, I definitely die here. One thing I wanted to do right there, though, it's good to keep this in mind, is I call it environmental strafing. And so pretty much what I was trying to do there is I was trying to play around that Goldfear and use it as sort of a body. And that way, when they hit the Goldfear is actually going to start hitting them. And they're going to start taking damage from it. I can also use the Goldfear to soak up a little bit of damage. So that's really big. So that's what I was trying to do right there. I highly suggest you do that. Do it around camps, do it around objectives if you're getting chased and you have nowhere else to go. And to hold my last thought, we did just purchase a Baron's Brew. Now, you guys can see we only have one Baron's Brew. And for those of you coming from Smite 1, you're like, one Baron's Brew? That's weird, right? Like, you should get 3. Well, the cool thing about Baron's Brew in this game is it's a little bit different. Not only can it be purchased by the enemy team right now because there's a bug in the game, but you can buy Baron's Brew and only get 1, but it does heal quite a bit. And I don't think it heals back mana right now. I think it's just HP. But the big thing is, after you consume it and use it, you can actually take the empty bottle of Baron's Brew and actually throw that at an enemy. And when you throw that bottle at an enemy, it actually deals quite a bit of damage, quite a bit of magical damage to them. So keep that in mind. Like, once you consume it, it's technically still usable, and you can actually do quite a bit of damage to people. You can kill people with it. I've yet to get a Baron's Brew kill, but I assure you I am trying. I'm trying to kill somebody with Baron's Brew. I've come very close. But late game, it does do quite a bit of damage, especially if you're the Baron, right? Like, you're already doing a lot of damage, you're mid lane, whatever the case. Here, we're going to go on this Loki, and yeah, I mean, like, my CC combined with Anubis' CC adds so much. We can still do a little coffin trick. I think they also made it like a little bit easier to look at the Hysteria in this game. So, like, as you can see here, instead of like a skull on top of them, which is pretty cool, the Hysteria is like a bar split into like 2 to 3 segments underneath their mana and HP bar. So if you guys want to like go back and look at that again, but see how it's like going up on this Neath. And so you can kind of see, like, as it's filling up, the segments are different milestones of Hysteria, right? Like, I believe the first one goes up to 30. The second would go up until they hit like max or something like that, and then it's like a full-on yellow thin bar. So it's pretty cool. But as you guys can see too, if you look at my pots, it says 0 on the Baron thing, and I actually just threw it, right? So that's the big thing. It's being able to throw it and do a little bit extra damage. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so Baron, for the most part, his kit is going to be the same, right? Like, if you played him in Smite 1, you're going to be extremely familiar with this kit in Smite 2. But there are some changes that we just talked about, right? Like, whether they're just number changes, some sort of like invisible changes that you don't really see as much, right? Like the reduced damage and all that kind of stuff. Or if they're like physical changes, like the mez on the root that you can like clearly see night and day right in front of you. But that's going to be kind of Baron in a nutshell. And if I did miss anything, I'll just put it up in the top right as normal. But yeah, so we're going to fry that Bacchus like we just did and try to get it back off here. And let's talk about the items a little bit. So the first item I went into right there was the Eye of Providence item. And I actually really like going into this item first because it gives you a free ward. And I don't know if you guys have been there throughout the whole like wards debate, but wards were only lasting like 60 seconds, and they pretty much tripled the time, added it back to Smite 1. So Smite 1 time, there were 180 seconds or 3 minutes of ward time. In Smite 2, they started off with 60, and everybody was just like, why? Why would I ever buy a ward 50 gold for 60 seconds? So now wards are 180 seconds, which is huge. You don't have to go Thieves. You can if you want, but they also did nerf Thieves, and I just don't think it's worth anymore to go in your build. So you can go this Eye of Providence item, which gives you literally a free sentry reward every 60 seconds, and you get it for 180 seconds, which is dope. And then and it also gives you really good stats. So you get like I believe it's like 30 of each prot, and you get some HP. So like you're getting really tanky. In fact, you're getting almost as many prots, I believe, as like Thieves is giving you. Dude, that Baron's Brew just did 120 to that Loki. That's kind of insane. We're trying to hold on. Let's see what happens here. I actually don't know. Do we like turn around and fry these guys, or what? What are we doing? I think this Loki's trying to flank, so I kind of want to play for that. Yeah, he did. Got a really good ult off here, though. Unfortunately, we didn't get the shell into the soul, which probably we should have done prior to ulting, but it's fine. We got Bacchus for flopping in. We're still doing a lot of damage. We're healing a lot, which is dope. And looks like we're looking for this Loki who... Oh, I think I remember this part. Yeah, we almost lose this guy. We almost lose this guy. I'm trying to figure out where this guy went. I'm like, did he go over here? Like, where's he going? But apparently, like, he goes up through their teleporter. Like, yeah, right there. Like, you see him on the map. He had to have gone around through their teleporter, I think. And I'm duo Q with Des this game, so any BM to Des is just friendly BM. So, I'm just spamming you rock because that's the ground Des was supposed to cover. But, now he's on the run, Now Des really wants to kill him because I was BMing him, so he ends up getting him. That's good. And Switch is now dead. So yeah, like Eye of Providence is just a good item, I think. You can go first, or you can go at some point in your build, but I do think it's like just good to go. It does take up an active slot though, so if you already have some active slots that you're thinking about, I would just kind of keep that in mind. Here we couldn't really save Des. I was thinking about like going back in the tank tower. I was like, I can't really save him. Trying to juke out this Neath, but she actually holds her root for quite a bit and hits me with it. So that was actually really, really well played by her.
No way I die here, right?
Wait, do we actually get out here? No, we don't get out. That's so unfortunate. But let's go ahead and skip through this death. And we're back. All right, I didn't skip through the whole death because I believe we do get a Gold Fury steal here, and we actually ended up getting it, which is dope. I think they dropped it, I guess, for some reason after they got a weekend, and we ended up getting it. Cool. So I just wanted you guys to see that. We did get the steal. Dope. Thanks to the Susano, Bologna, and the Soul for doing that. We are going to use the port, though, to go up and see if we can help out this Bologna, maybe. Do I care about her? I do. Oh, no, she's dead anyways. Okay, that's fine. In any case, though, my next item I want to go... Wait, hold on. Let's see if we can fry here. I think we do fry. Ooh, you like that little Baron's Brew throw? To the Fen? That was good. That was pretty good. Can we get this Loki at all? Yes, we can. That's a nice little double kill. Need ults, but too late. In any case, though... our second item is going to be Spirit Robe. I highly suggest if you are playing support, Spirit Robe did get a little bit of a nerf, but it's still extremely good. I highly suggest if you're playing support, you go Spirit Robe every single game at some point in your build. You can go it early, you can go it later, doesn't really matter. But you should be going it every single point in your belt because Spirit Robe gives you so many protections. For those of you that don't know about the Spirit Robe change to Smite 2, it is a little bit different than in Smite 1. So in Smite 2, Spirit Robe is going to give you a base set of prots. I believe it's like 30-30. And when you get CC'd, hard CC'd, you're going to get an extra like 40 protections. So you get 70 protections total. Now, the cool thing about it is that these... Oh my goodness, dude. Did we just destroy that Bacchus? That was wild. Honestly, okay, real quick. I never like flopping into a Baron as Bacchus. I know Bacchus kind of seems like a bit of a counterpick to Baron, but every single time I flop into a Baron as Bacchus, like, I hate it. And if I'm Baron, I see a Bacchus flop in, I love it because you just kind of suck him in with your ult and you can root him. It's just not a good day for him. In any case, so back to the Spirit Robe talk. Yeah, you are going to get an additional 40 prots whenever you get hard CC'd. And what's cool is that those additional protections last about 7 to 8 seconds, I believe. I don't know if that's intended or not because it used to say 4 seconds. But it's always been like 8 seconds and they haven't fixed it yet. So maybe it's intended, who knows, right? All these bugs in the game, no one really knows what's intended and what's not intended. We are going to go ahead and ult this, though, and see what happens. Oh, man. Des kind of trolled there, but no, we ended up getting him. That's good. That's good. Box flops in, though. We get another Bologna ult in. And I think we actually just end up killing everybody here. Yeah. No, that's just unfortunate. That's the support life right there. You're... sort of like your backline just dies and you're just kind of there by yourself. It's unfortunate. But the other cool thing about Spirit Robe is... Sorry, I keep like getting distracted off these team fights, you know. But the other cool thing about Spirit Robe is that it doesn't have an internal cooldown anymore. So the crazy part about, like, say, Smite 1 Spirit Robe is that there's like a 15-second internal cooldown. In Smite 2, there is no internal cooldown. That means that if you get hard CC'd and then you get hard CC'd again, say, for example, I get Bacchus flopped, right? That's going to be hard CC, so it's going to proc Spirit Robe. And then say a second or two down the line, he ends up burping me to a stun. That's another hard CC, right? That's going to refresh the duration on my Spirit Robe. There's going to be 0 internal cooldown. So I will literally just have Spirit Robe for like a solid 10 plus seconds, right? Every single time, which is so, so nice. And that's why I think Spirit Robe is just like a must. And speaking of a must in this game, the other thing too in support, I was saying this in my previous videos, I'll keep saying this, these AoE beads that I just got, this item I just got, these beads are amazing. You should go this pretty much every single game, especially into characters like Fenrir, which we're up against, and also into like Ares and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you should be getting them every single game. They're way too good for both you and your allies. It means that you don't have to go beads as a support, which is awesome, and it means that you get to give your allies a free beads. Pretty much like one of the biggest game-turning actives in the game, right? Being able to completely turn a fight with this AoE bead. So you should be going this every single game at some point. Beautiful thing too is it gives you cooldown rate. You get about 15, I believe, cooldown rate. Bad thing is it only gives you magical protections. Even if they're somewhat 5 physicals, you should still go it, right? Like it's just too good of an active. But you know, do keep that in mind. You are not getting physical prots from it, so you know, maybe you want to itemize a little bit more heavily into physical prots before you pick this item up, or even after you pick this item up. And then also too, I was kind of hovering over it earlier, but they buffed breastplate a little bit. Breastplate's giving you a lot of cooldown right now. It's like 30% or 30 cooldown rate. Cooldown works a little bit different in this game than it does in Smite 1. I'm not going to go over the full thing, but I believe like it's like uncapped now, so you can kind of get like 100 cooldown rate, but like 50 cooldown rate is like what it's like 50% or 40% of what it used to be, something like that. It's something weird. I don't like it as much. I think the cooldown like percentage was way better in Smite 1. I don't know why they changed it. I think a lot of people are confused about it in this game. Just know that 10% cooldown rate in this game, or rather 10 cooldown rate in this game, is not equal to 10% cooldown in Smite 1. It's actually like a lot different. It's not as potent as 10% cooldown in Smite 1. But in any case though, it might be half that. I don't know. But in any case though, yeah, go beads. It gives you cooldown rate, which is nice, and it also gives you magical protections. And then breastplate, going to give you 30 cooldown rate, which is awesome, and it's also going to give you physical procs. So if you want to go this AoE beads item, Talisman of Purification, into breastplate, it's actually really good. You're getting like 50, not 50, 45, I believe, cooldown rate from both those items alone, which is a lot. That's a lot of cooldown rate. Especially in Smite 2. And Baron loves that, by the way, because again, his passive is scaling off of that a little bit. Sorry, not his passive. The healing, the extra healing from his 2 is scaling off of that. And on top of that, too, Baron's abilities are really low cooldown, as is. I think, like, at one point in this game, I was looking at my ult, because I was trying to, like, figure out what my cooldowns were. And my ult was on, like, a 46-second cooldown. And I don't even have, like, half the cooldown rate that, like, I could have. You know what I mean? So it was honestly pretty insane to think about. But yeah, those are the items I would kind of suggest. This build, and also like kind of going into breastplate, I think would be really good. We are just kind of like stomping this game though. We're up 11k. We really shouldn't be losing this game at this point. This should be kind of like us sealing the deal, unless we troll to whatever extent. But we're gonna go ahead and try to push this. I think Anubis wanted back there, but I do want to push this, so hopefully we can push, but Dest is backing, and I'm worried Dest just back. That's not good. Bacchus flops in. He's gonna apply anti-heal though, so we're only gonna heal for 65 there, unfortunately. I took Neathalt, and I mean we're still alive a little bit. We still have purification beads. Bologna jumps in like a psychopath. Well, Bologna doesn't jump in, am I right? You always up down on that character apparently. And yo, this Loki, that Loki really wanted to get that Bologna. That Loki really wanted to get that Bologna. That was crazy. I think we're just going to end up dying here. Yeah, we are. Well, look how tanky we are, though. It takes them so long to kill us. But we're going to go ahead and skip through this little death. We got breastplate. That's awesome. We're going to skip through this death, and I'll see you guys back here after the death. We have returned. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm just over here reviewing the life of the party statistics. But yeah, that was unfortunately a little troll by our Anubis. I think that we do stay there, or we all back together and then we just go to that fire giant. That's completely fine though. No harm, no foul. We're still up an absurd amount. We have both the Gold Furies. We have 2 of the Gold Furies so far, and we're still in like a really good spot too. I mean, we're up 10k, right? We're still in a really good spot to get fire giant if we want to. So that's completely fine. One thing I also did want to mention too, and I forgot to mention this because it is the same as in Smite 1, but if enemies are above 30 Hysteria, your 1 is applying extra, well, all your abilities apply extra effects, right? Like the 2 gives you speed boost, slow immunity, all that kind of stuff. You can kind of see that. But the 1 in particular, which is what's really cool, is it reduces power of the enemy by about 30%, and it also reduces their attack speed by about 30%. And there's also, as of the making of this video, and they'll probably hotfix this, so, don't go crazy with it, but there is a bug in the game right now with Baron in that his beams double cross, and so if they double cross, it actually double applies the debuff. So instead of 30% power reduction, you're like 60% power reduction onto the enemy, which is ridiculous. So I believe that's the bug right now, but that will get fixed at some point in the future, hopefully like sooner than later. I bet you it will be. But yeah, that's a really cool thing with his beams. Again, it was like that in Smite 1, but I feel like a lot of people didn't really know that or didn't really pay attention to it. So if you combine that power reduction on the 1, combined with Baron's passive, which is he's taking reduced damage from enemies that are like max Hysteria, dude, like you can be, you're the tankiest guy on the field. Like I refuse to believe you're not the tankiest guy on the field. And you're healing too. you've got to be the tankiest guy on the field, right? So yeah, I think Baron is probably the best character in the game right now, as of like him and Yemoja release. He's just got an absurd amount of CC, and his util is amazing. Gonna go ahead and select this Bacchus back in. Gonna go ahead and one him. That's power reduction. I don't know why Jingwei went back in. Maybe to help the Bacchus, helper syndrome, I guess. But Yemoja also came out in this patch too with Baron, but Baron's always been a known counter to Yemoja anyways. So even though Yemoja is good, also comes with her own bugs here and there. Like nothing can pass through her ult. But even with all that aside, Baron is still like the best character in the game in my opinion. So he's nuts. He's really fun. He's gonna feel very, very much the same as he did in Smite 1, but with some differences. So I'd highly recommend trying him out and having a good time with him. I do think he's just a crazy character. But guys, as you can see, we're ending. Hopefully we don't troll this one. And this is this going to be the game? I don't want to like do this again where I kind of say this is going to be the game where like I ended it prematurely and it wasn't the game. But no, for real. This is going to be the game. We didn't hard troll. This was a build though. Great build. I highly recommend you trying it out. Try out some cooldown rate on him as well as, you know, Spirit Robe. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this game, learned a lot from the game. And until next time, see ya.